Imagine this. You've just moved into a new home and are in the midst of unpacking when you stumble upon a peculiar box. Your curiosity piqued. You notice it's securely nailed shut. Undeterred, you pry open the seal and discover a prop doll inside that looks like it's straight out of a Hollywood horror film. Bizarrely, the doll is chained and its mouth is gagged with a cloth. Now you might think this is setting the stage for a typical horror mystery, but let me assure you, this story will defy your expectations. Hello horror fans, this is your Moonlight Whisperer Alex, and today I'm going to unfold a tale so strange it will challenge your beliefs and make you second guess your judgment. So the story goes like this. 3 college friends, Chris, Alex, and Jenny, moved into a spacious, pre-owned house, more than adequate for the trio. One day, while exploring the attic, they stumbled upon a mysterious box that was sealed shut. Driven by curiosity, they opened it and discovered a ventriloquist dummy inside, the kind of dummy comedians use for entertainment and cracking jokes without moving their lips. As they investigated further, they found a name tag inside the box with the name Finley inscribed on it. Chris seemed particularly drawn to the dummy, fueled by his dream of becoming a ventriloquist. However, Alex, with her knowledge of horror movies, felt a sense of foreboding. She had seen too many films where such dolls turned malevolent. Despite Chris's fascination, Alex urged him to return the dummy to its box. Reluctantly, Chris complied, returning the dummy to its place and heading downstairs. That night, as everyone slept, Jenny was jolted awake by the sound of footsteps, like someone running in the attic. Curiosity piqued, she cautiously left her room, only to find Chris armed with a baseball bat investigating. Sensing a potential intruder, Chris instructed Jenny to return to her room. After finding nothing, they decided to go back to bed. However, they were startled to hear the same running sound again. Chris, determined to investigate further, asked Jenny to stay in her room. Amidst the commotion, Alex woke to find Jenny in her room, clearly distressed. It became apparent that someone or something was attempting to enter their room. Their fears were allayed when Chris returned, holding a dead mouse, attributing it to the source of the disturbance. Convinced the danger had passed, they settled back to sleep. Yet, Jenny couldn't shake the feeling of unease, suddenly heard something that sounded like a heavy shackle dropping on the floor. To her surprise, she discovered Finley, the eerie dummy, mysteriously placed in her room. Assuming it was a prank by Chris, she moved Finley out of her room. The next morning, Finley's appearance seemed normal, thanks to Chris's nonchalant attitude. However, they soon realized that Finley was no ordinary doll. It was a malevolent force intent on their demise. Finley's first target was Jenny, whom he attempted to kill with a kitchen knife. Jenny bravely defended herself, thwarting Finley's attack. The commotion alerted Alex, who was showering at the time. Frustrated by his failed attempt, Finley devised a new plan, this time targeting Alex. He grabbed a toaster from the kitchen and hurled it into the bathtub where Alex was bathing. Alex, thinking she was about to die, was relieved to find the toaster was not plugged in. She survived the ordeal and immediately called Chris to recount the terrifying events. Chris returns, but Finley, seething with frustration, devises a new, more elaborate plan to redeem himself. Determined to eliminate Chris, Finley meticulously plans his next move. One day, while Alex is in the kitchen preparing dinner, Finley sneaks up and sprinkles rat poison into the food right in front of her. As a result, the sinister act fails miserably. Undeterred, Finley waits for another opportunity. The next day, he lurks in the shadows of the car's back seat, waiting for Chris to get into his car. As Chris settles into the driver's seat, Finley strikes, attempting to strangle him with a plastic bag. But in his haste, he forgets to cover Chris's mouth, and Chris manages to break free, gasping for air. Frustrated but undeterred, Finley sets up a new trap. He covers the floor with sharp nails and scatters marbles all around, hoping someone will slip and fall face first onto the nails. However, the friends are cautious, and no one falls for the trap. Despite his repeated failures, Finley remains determined. He tries to burn the friends alive by spraying perfume through a flame, but once again, his plan backfires, and he ends up dousing himself in perfume instead. Undeterred, he even attempts to use a crossbow on Chris, but his crossbow falls from its platform, leading it to miss its target. With every failed attempt, Finley's frustrations grew, reaching a point where he even started taking responsibility for any mishap he could. One day, when the family cat left a mess on an expensive carpet, Finley readily claimed the blame. Fed up with Finley's continuous antics and disasters, the friends ridiculed him and sent him back to the attic, back to the old box where he'd first been found. Heartbroken, Finley bid his cat friend goodbye and withdrew into his box, choosing solitude. That night, while everyone was deep in sleep, a loud noise suddenly jolted Alex awake. Suspecting that Finley was up to his old tricks again, she nudged Chris to go and check. Groggily, Chris found the front door wide open, seemingly forced, which made him wonder if this was another of Finley's schemes. But before he could process it fully, two masked intruders blindsided him. It clearly wasn't Finley this time. There were two of them, and one was barking orders to corral everyone in the house. The intruders harshly rounded up Chris, Alex, and Jenny, forcing them to the floor in the living room. The commotion and the women's screams woke Finley from his attic exile. Quietly, he crept downstairs and noticed the intruders menacing everyone, not even sparing the family cat. Enraged, Finley reverted to his instincts. With a deft flick, he shut off the house's power, throwing everything into darkness. The abrupt blackout startled the intruders, who panicked, fearing another unseen presence in the house. They began yelling, demanding to know who else was there, as they tried to regain control of the chaotic scene. Suddenly, the intruders heard footsteps running upstairs. One of them ordered his subordinate to investigate while he guarded the captives. Reluctant at first, the subordinate had no choice but to comply, forced at gunpoint. As he searched upstairs and eventually reached the attic, he found nothing but a few dolls and old furniture. Among them, hidden among the dolls, was Finley. When the intruder turned away, marbles rolled on the floor, distracting him. As he pondered the situation, Finley launched his attack, catching the intruder off guard. The intruder stumbled on the marbles, falling face first onto nails Finley had placed. Despite the excruciating pain, the intruder managed to avoid being strangled by Finley with a plastic bag. Undeterred, Finley wrapped the intruder in a blanket and stabbed him until he lay lifeless. The screams from his comrade made the other intruder cautious. Armed with his firearm, he went upstairs to investigate. Sensing something move past him, he quickly descended from the attic and began searching the rooms. In one room, he saw what appeared to be an ordinary dummy sitting on a chair. Unaware of the danger, he continued his search. However, Finley, now experienced in evading suspicion, slowly picked up his crossbow and shot the intruder in the leg. As the intruder tried to remove the arrow in the bathroom, Finley saw an opportunity. He threw the toaster into the bathtub, intending to electrocute the intruder. However, the intruder sensed danger and tried to shoot Finley, who was waiting just behind him. Acting swiftly, Finley sprayed perfume through the flame, causing the intruder's hand to burn severely. Desperate, the intruder instinctively put his hand in the bathtub water. Seeing the opportunity, Finley quickly plugged in the toaster. The intruder was electrocuted but somehow survived. But Finley wasn't taking any chances. He grabbed his knife and fatally stabbed the intruder, ensuring his demise. The three friends were rescued unharmed, and that day, Finley became a hero in their eyes, redeeming himself and once again becoming a cherished member of the household. On Christmas, as everyone celebrated, Chris bought a jacket specially for Finley, who was thrilled to receive his first gift. Alex, on the other hand, bought milkshakes for everyone, including Finley. However, Finley was so enamored with his gift that he declined the drink. As Chris and Jenny sipped their milkshakes, they noticed a strange taste. Alex, who had tried the drink just moments earlier, insisted it had been fine. That's when they all turned to look at Finley, who was casually petting his cat with a slight grin on his face. They suddenly understood why Finley had outright refused the milkshake. Now you might be wondering what happened next. Are Chris, Jenny, and Alex okay? Did Finley spike their drinks with something lethal again? If you ask me, I'd say they're probably just fine. Considering how all of Finley's past attempts to harm them have somehow been thwarted by what seems like divine intervention, it's unlikely he succeeded this time. Let's face it, we're talking about a dummy that somehow came to life. There's gotta be some supernatural or divine power at play here. And if I were to play devil's advocate and suggest that Finley actually managed to poison the household this time, I'd still bet they survived. Let's be realistic. The worst that rat poison, which he used in the past, can only cause severe discomfort, not death. But here's what I really think happened. I don't believe Finley spiked their drinks at all. Instead, I suspect he mixed something less harmful, but just as shocking, like cat poop, into the milkshakes. Why? Well, remember the incident with the cat poop on the carpet? And to save the cat, Finley had to exile to the attic? I think this was his quirky way of getting back at them, taking revenge on behalf of himself and his feline friend. This brings us to a bigger question. Does Finley actually care about his household? Or is everything he does solely for his cat? From my point of view, it seems like the cat is the common denominator in all of Finley's actions. Whether he's protecting it from being thrown out or avenging its dignity, the cat always seems to be his priority. So, what do you think? Is the cat the real reason behind Finley's behavior, or has he genuinely bonded with his human housemates? I'm really curious to hear your thoughts on this, so please drop a comment and let me know. I would love to hear your thoughts.
As we conclude our tale, I urge you to please like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Your feedback matters, so please share your thoughts. Until next time, stay curious and never lose hope. Thank you for tuning in.